So today, I wanted to touch on how all of our actions that we do have an effect on people. The the closest examples that come to mind are those examples where, let's say, I remember something that someone did, but what that person did was something that was just everyday and non-extraordinary. Maybe just a simple act of kindness. And these simple acts of kindness, or these acts, or even acts that are uh, deplorable, or things that are inconvenient, or are slight, or any kind of act, even the smallest ones, we have to come to the realization that we don't know how our actions are going to leave an imprint on other people. And it's with this uncertainty that we don't know how our actions are going to affect others that we we should be vigilant of our actions. We should understand that whenever we're interacting with people, when we're interacting with the world, that we have to stay vigilant about how we conduct ourselves with people, with the world, with just the everyday bustling and rustling of the day. Because at the end of the day, we have to take into account we're uncertain of how our actions are going to affect people. And even the smallest actions that we take, smallest inconveniences that we make, can leave permanent, um, a permanent effect on the people that are around us. Maybe not every action, maybe not every inconvenience, but you just don't know which ones withhold with certain people, with any person. And so that's why it pays to practice trying to be virtuous, to on a daily basis try to be that virtuous person. Of course, you're never going to be a virtuous person. You're never going to be a malevolent person just because um, we're always changing. We're always different beings. So no one can just be good, be bad, be mediocre. We're all these things, right? So what we should strive for then is getting onto the path of being a virtuous person. And in doing that, if we're trying to be a virtuous person, if we're learning and growing and trying to understand this world in a better light and trying to grow with this world, if we just do the mere act of trying every single day to do that, then I would argue that's enough to leave a substantial imprint on this world that is good and virtuous. Because of course you're not always going to be a good, virtuous, not always going to be on the path. But in your life, if you're always striving to be on that path to being virtuous, then the majority of the time you'll be on the path. And the majority of the time, whenever you're interacting with people, they will most likely remember those virtuous acts and the things that you did for them, even though we don't know what they will remember. It's almost like a dice roll, right? It's almost like a dice roll, but you want to put the odds in your favor. You want to, in the majority of the time, try to be as virtuous as you can, so that when you're ever rolling the dice, you have 5 dice for virtue and 1 dice for deplorability of what the people around you will remember. And that just takes practice, that takes vigilance, it takes discipline, and it takes continuous growth. And continuous growth, so that the times you do decay, the times you do fall down, you fail, you grow back up, because you're continuously trying to grow. And from these mishaps, from these lack of vigilance, you grow for them. Because from these failures comes knowledge and wisdom and growth. So that's all I had. A little rambly today, but whatever. I gotta get up at 5:30, 5 o'clock tomorrow, doing some crabbing. But anyways, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye.